And I don't know how tall it's going to be, but this side of it will also need some height to it. Again, trying to keep it perpendicular to the horizon. Now I've created a back to the couch, and I don't know how tall we want it, but I'm going to take this line and bring it over to the vanishing point. Given the couch thickness, parallel again to the horizon, tells me that I know where that corner is, where that line ends, has to be straight up and down or perpendicular to the horizon. And if I stop here, not to confuse us with the other line, I'll just bring this out a little bit so I can see it and bring it as far as this line would be if I drew it straight up. So I've taken and made an L in this situation and moved it away from the wall. And now I'm going to put a front to it. And that front is established the same way, where I'll just take this line and bring it further. You can understand how confusing it could be if I continue drawing line after line in one color and didn't erase them, but I'm trying to do this in a way that we'll see it quickly, digest it a little bit, and move on. So if I've taken this top and connected it with a perpendicular line, parallel line to the horizon, I might want to clean out the inside of that and redraw it just so you see it a little bit better. And this corner here is confusing, so I'll take it off. At the front of the couch, right here, I'm going to draw a straight line up and down, and I'll freehand it, okay, just so you know it's meant to be straight. The only thing missing, we have a diagonal going to the center, but that doesn't tell us where the couch should be. If we take this angle here, the line would be a little bit higher. So I've now drawn from the corner of that L and the corner of this L to create the area that I could later put a pillow in if I wanted to. I'm making it a simple couch, but I think you get the idea. Think of a picture in a room. It's usually placed at eye level. So you're looking at the photo when you're standing. If I want to have a picture behind this couch, I might say that will be the line that I'll start in. And to that vanishing point, I'll draw a line at the top of that picture wherever I want it to be. Again, it's not touching the ceiling usually, it's at eye level. So I'll make a mark so I know I've got something to aim for with this ruler, and I'll put another line in. If I have a side to that painting or picture on the wall, it's got to be perpendicular to the horizon, and I might want it to match the couch in width, so I'll keep it relatively the same size. Okay? To confuse us less, I'll take out some of these lines so you understand how this picture now relates to that couch in this made-up room. And one more thing I'm going to do is put a little rug in front of this couch, and that rug will run back to the horizon and the vanishing point on it. And I can make it as big as I want with it parallel and perpendicular where it applies. Here it's more parallel because of this side, but the sides go back to that vanishing point. And on this end, I want it again parallel to the horizon. Okay. One last thing, and we're finished this exercise. Well, I could put one window in here just to clean up some of these lines, and I'll do that by giving us a view through a window, again parallel to the horizon, and the sides were perpendicular. So now I've got a room with a bunch of lines in it that I don't need anymore. And I'm going to take these out. So we can start seeing this as a surface, a plane that might be different from the wall we've cut the hole through. And one more thing I want to do just to illustrate the point a little further. If I look at this couch here and decide that maybe in front of it I'd like to put a coffee table, what I might do is, first of all, think about the footprint that table would occupy. And again, I'd take a parallel line to the horizon as the back, and the front would be parallel to the horizon there. Diagonals would go back to that single vanishing point. Remember, we're in 1 point perspective, and there is 1 point on the horizon line. All those diagonals go back to that horizon or vanishing point on the horizon line. This is a little dark, but I'll show you what I'm planning to do. If I take and give myself an arbitrary height here, I'm not saying it has to be exact, a line to represent the length of the legs, I can take a parallel line to the horizon and put that to indicate where the front edge and the legs meet. All of this underneath can be erased if I choose later, but I'm going to keep it in play for a second as I take some lines and run them back to that vanishing point. Now I've got what can be considered the top of the table, and remembering that any vertical lines go perpendicular to the horizon, I am going to just extend these legs a little higher up, and where they meet the lines that I've projected back to the vanishing point, I'll consider that the top of the table. It just so happens to coincide with the bottom of the wall. To clarify it a little bit easier, I'll take and erase a little bit of these lines. Sometimes I don't erase it completely if I want it to appear like glass, so I'll show you what I'll do in that instance. I will take away these baselines that were aiding in figuring out the footprint basically of this table, and I did remove some of this top, so I'll replace it. So now I've got a tabletop that in this case we're going to consider is more glass-like, and instead of seeing the legs in the same strength on all four sides, I might weaken those lines, put a little bit of a dot treatment there if that's necessary, or reinforce this by making them thicker. And then to finish it off, I may just do a little sweep for glass on top of it so that people know there's a surface there and it's not really meant to be opaque. So I can give the glass thickness if I want. I can even cast a faint shadow underneath, but that's all to take it to the next step. Remember what I've told you so far in the workshop, that every plane is going to be lit differently. So this surface here might be getting a different treatment than this door jamb here will. But the more coloring in you do, or using values, different pencils, the more you'll be able to establish the angles of the walls. In one-point perspective, there's two rules. Verticals are perpendicular to the horizon, and horizontal lines are parallel to the horizon.